Barakati Awashai, Barakati Awa, Barakati Awashai, Barakati Hawa, Barakati Awashai. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rokakwadash. Double honors apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to your beloved Akim that is pushing his word in sincerity and truth. With humiliation on the cross of all winds to you, I salute. This is the brother that I want back to you another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemashai. Yeah, man. I want to get in this brief article here. It says anti-headlines claims of Christian revival are fading quickly as church attendance continues to dwindle. All right, and it's gonna continue to dwindle, as it says here. Christian worldview resources. It's gonna continue to dwindle. All right, cause ain't no answers in those hallowed houses. You ain't gonna find no answers. A lot of people waking up to those bullshit. In them hallowed houses now, what they been dealing with for years. People left in the churches. Ain't no answers. Because it says here, look, they have a picture on the left before the pandemic. Churches are now emptier than before the pandemic, and then now it empty. Because pretty much, people as wising up, a lot with certain things, because during the pandemic, a lot of people was in the houses, was on their phones, and a lot of information, a lot of things was coming out, and a lot of stuff, about all these things was happening in the earth, and answers in the church to tell you what's happening in the world pertaining to prophecy. All right, answers them churches. They say, "Come as you are. God loves you. Pay your tithes, and just accept, what you hear." A bunch of shit. A bunch of shit. The damn choir director is a homo. The pastor's a homo. All right. Woman coming to church, man, tight ass shit. Sitting in the front row with these tight ass clothes on. Sitting where the people could look down in the congregation could look right under them, just so to speak. These things be happening. That's why they wear these damn short clothes. But nevertheless, Christianity is done. Christianity is true. Christianity is finished. All right, and the churches are gonna continue to dwindle because ain't no answers in those hallowed houses. All right, they assemble themselves like troops in the hallowed houses, or these so-called, or one translation say these brothels. Because they accept anybody. You see, ain't no truth in them. All right, Christianity is that wide gate that's going to lead to destruction. It says, according to a report from the Times, fresh data from a major national survey has dismantled recent assertions of a Christian resurgence in the UK, revealing that church-going has fallen below pre-pandemic levels across all age groups. It says the British Social Attitudes Survey conducted by National Center for Social Research through in-person interviews with 4,656 people found just 5% of Britons now attend a weekly church service. This is the UK. Down from 8% in 2018 among adults under 35. The figure stands at 4%, showing no meaningful increase from levels recorded in 2017. And it's just worse now with this generation. This generation a lot of them ain't got no spirituality. The only thing they into is going to the club, partying on the weekend, having fun, being on their damn phone. They ain't into no, they ain't have no spirituality. You see, this young generation, boy, even though, what we know now, but, we used to be foisting on Sunday morning, get up early, go to church, and pretty much, They catch what they call it, Sunday school. You know, they catch that teaching. You know, even though it's garbage, but used to see us. You know, go to church early. But this generation, boy, they ain't going nowhere. You know, they ain't going nowhere. You know, all right. But at the end of the day, Christianity is finished, boy. Them days gone. Them days gone. You know, people wake up now now and see that, you know, they been lied to, run amok, bamboozled. You see? It says Sir John Curtis, professor of politics at the University of Strathclyde, delivered a stark verdict on the findings. The evidence from the British Social Attitude Survey is clear. There has been no revival in Christian observance in Britain, he stated. All right, church attendance remains below pandemic levels across all age groups, and the suggestion that young people are leading a religious renewal is not borne out of my data by the data. Weekly attendance among these aged 70 and over have half the means divided since 2017. You know, because a lot of those older generation they dying out also. Dropping from 80% to 9%, researchers noted this shift creates an illusion of youthening congregations driven not by influx of young worshippers but by the loss of older ones. See? Even among self-identified Christians, weekly attendance have slipped from 20% in 2018 to 13% today. All right? People ain't into them damn churches no more. Answers in them. You know? Answers in those walkie-talkie holidays. The analyst explicitly addresses earlier optimism sparked by a 2025 Bible Society report titled The Quiet Revival, which claimed double church attendance among Gen Z. That report was later withdrawn after the organization and the YouGov acknowledged it relied on flawed data from fraudulent online respondents. Damn. So, hey, ain't nobody into those holidays no more, especially these young generation. They rather go party, but the BSA survey, especially them young devils. The BSA survey also indicated lasting effects from Crown Royal 19 on religious practice more broadly. Crown Royal 19 appears to have had a more lasting effect on religious practice in Britain than many had hoped. Curtis added, and that extends to faith communities beyond Christianity too. All right. Okay. So you can imagine in time to come what's coming on this earth. All right. People are leaving. Some real bad times coming, and guess what? The churches don't have the answers. All right. Answers in them. All right. Because Christianity is that wide gate. Let's get it. Christianity is that wide gate that's going to lead to destruction. All right. The scripture said, "Your eyes shall see the teachers." This ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody. This is only for the hopeful elect. This is Matthew 7 and 13. It says, so like I put Luke. Okay, so like give me a minute. Matthew 7 and 13. It says, "Enter ye in at the straight gate." All right. You see the way I said? You know what straight means? Let me show you what straight means. See, he's going to the meaning of the word so you get have understanding, right? Let me show you what straight means. All right. Enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. That starts with Christianity. You see? All that is a part associated with that wide gate. All right. When you look up the word straight, it says narrow. All right. Narrow. Okay. It says probably by the base narrow from obstacles standing close about. All right. So you're going to have a lot of obstacles in your way. All right. Let me check out the meaning of this word. Okay. Give me a minute, right? Okay. When you look up straight, give me a minute. Slovakia. You know what? Let me just get the online etymology of this word straight. S-T-R-A. S-T-R-A-I-T. S-T-R-A-I-T. All right, this is the online etymology of the word straight. It says a narrow confined space or place, especially narrow pass or passage between hills. The same thing spoken of in second Ezra, the 7th chapter. That narrow part, you know, only one man could go in at a time. Fire on one side, deep water on the left. It says a narrow pass or passage. Slovakia. Yeah, man, or Slovakia. It says, yeah, in the book of second Ezra, the 7th chapter. A narrow pass or passage between hills, reference to a narrow passage of water connecting two larger bodies. All right. It's from Latin strictus, often in plural straits, the sense of difficulty, plight. All right. Difficulty. All right. So it says straight, narrow, not wide, tightly pulled, close fitting, strict, exacting, stern, tight, close fitting. You see that? Tight, close fitting. You see? So this straight part is going to be met with all kind of hardship, difficulties. You know? You see? That's why the Lord say, enter in at the straight gate. All right? What the book of Ezra say too? Right? This is second Ezra chapter 7 and 7 and 3. And I said, speak on my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great. But the caves, the entrance, were narrow and like a river. Who could then go in to look upon it and rule it if he went not through the narrow? So you must go through the narrow. How could you enter into the broad if you don't go through the narrow? You see that? So that's that difficulty and hardship. All right. It says there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of good things. You know, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. That tight, narrow path. All right. One man could go in at a time. Like as there was a fire on the right hand and deep water on the left, a deep water. And they cleansing agents. So that narrow path that's so tight. Only one man, which you're gonna see, and only one part between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that could but one man go there at once. Work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. You see that? So that's narrow path, the straight path, S-T-R-A-I-T. This ain't no joke. You see? And that's why, you got to deal with the inner man. Get that right. Get your mind right. All right? Because a lot of people out here in that broad, they going into that wide gate. And wide is the gate. All right? Okay? And wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. You see that? All right. That narrow way leads to life. And who's that life? Who's that life? Let's get it. Who's that life? This is John 14:6. Yahushua said unto him, I am the truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. Yahushua is that life. All right. And ain't no other way. Ain't no other way but Yahushua. So these churches don't have no answers. If you don't come through Yahushua, hey, ain't nothing happening. All right. So these church numbers is going to continue to dwindle because Yahushua, he's that door. Yahushua is the door, brothers. All right. This is John 10:1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. Christianity is some other way. All right. Islam, Rastafarianism, all right. All these other different beliefs. That's another way. You got to come through the door. But he that's entered by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Yahushua is the door. Let me show you. Let me show you Yahushua is the door. All right. Hold on for me. Give me a minute. Verse 7. Then said Yahushua unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man shall enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. You see that? Yahushua is that door. You know, Christianity in the door. All right, Christianity and telling our people lies. You know, and people waking up to their bullshit. You know, churches don't have no answers. You know, when the pandemic first, broke out. You know, you had these people all over came and asking this question, inquiring and whatever. They couldn't get no answers when they pastors. You know, people all over. That was the most I ever see people watch our videos. You know, these two dirts asking us questions, whatever. You know, they don't have no answers in them churches, and these numbers is going to continue to dwindle. How much more when that time of trouble come? It can be too late because we ain't gonna give you no answers this time. All right, we out here now. All right, so like you see this picture say, you know, before the pandemic, now empty. It's going to continue. All right, but I just want to bring out your spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Yeah, man, shalom.